And we'll call the Information Systems Committee to order. Clerk, would you please call roll?
Mr. R. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Rollins?
Present.
Mr. Clark?
Here.
We have a summary of proceedings from May 7th of 2018, which I think is the last time this committee met. I do not feel comfortable in approving these minutes because I wasn't even here, and I don't think anybody here was, but I would like to accept them into the record. So I'll make that motion.
Second.
So we can call roll.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Our first and only item of business tonight is report review. It states on here, we have Mr. Bolden here to help us out. Mr. Bolden and I met last week, went over some reports that we think might be necessary to maintain the records, to keep continuity, and to be able to keep things going with Mr. Bolden and anybody who may follow him in his job. Would you like to go over some of these? We have a list of the reports that you still have this list?
Yeah, I've got it right here.
I printed out those reports. Could you go over the reports that you gave us? You gave us a bunch of reports, and I really appreciate that. A lot of information. But if you could, these reports that you gave us kind of reference to which one
Okay,
you said it was.
A lot of the one report I gave you for the sign, for the firewall, it gave information about the statistics and so forth. I gave you reports on the antivirus. I gave you a report of inventory. And that was pretty much it as far as that goes. A lot of I'm the only person in this department, so a lot of these reports that you're asking for, I'm gonna have to pull this information and generate them myself. It took me 2 or 3 days to get.
So that's part of my question is, have you reviewed this list?
I have, and
How long do you think it would take to produce these reports?
it took me a day and a half to get those. And
Yeah.
it would probably
So-
take, it would be most of my job. just
My other
getting
concern
reports.
is there is a ton of redundancy here. Like we have,
Right,
capital improvements report, capital project, strategic initiative report, and a strategic IT planning report.
right.
What?
I mean, I don't want to go on a whole lot of detail into this in public,
Right.
but, you know, I would be more than happy to sit with you guys and come in and talk to me about this, but some of these things, they don't apply to
Yeah,
this
like
department.
the IT budget and expenditure report.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, because of my unique situation, I don't actually do the budget for IT.
Correct.
And I don't think it would be a very good idea to have the person that does systems administration, network administration, and every type of administration under the sun do the budget for that particular department. I think it's a good idea to separate that off. So, you know, that would be someone else that would be given that information. But again, I'm perfectly fine talking to council about a lot of this stuff, but, you know, IP address information, MAC addresses, even the details of how things are done, that can all be used against you in some way, shape, or form.
Right, and anything that you give the committee or the council is confidential.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
that's why I was okay with
Yeah.
giving it to you, but, you know.
Because the sensitivity of it, we don't want
Right.
everybody to take it. One of the things, Jacob, I was hoping to accomplish tonight, or at least get started tonight, is this list that you have here. I would like for you to go through it and tell me which of these reports you can do and which ones you cannot. And then we'll go from there. This is a pretty comprehensive list, I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
But if you want to go through it and say, I can do this one, I can do that one, but I can't do these or whatever.
can I be given more time on this?
Oh, yeah,
to look this over?
yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
We're in no big rush.
So, I mean, like I said, I don't mind giving reports, but a lot of this stuff, it's hard to talk about in public.
Right.
So,
Well, and even, I don't know if on the reports, if you have a way of blacking out certain things. You know,
Yeah.
as long as we see the report, I don't think we need to see the IP number or anything like that.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, maybe a couple comments. Number one, I'm not sure, I think we probably would have to consult with the law director to know that any of those reports are confidential to be given to you. That wouldn't be my immediate reaction, but they would be, so I would like to address that with him. I'd also like to remind council that I would guess that we have more employees than the county, and the county has like 3 IT people. We have one.
Exactly. You don't want-
And he's also working on New World. I ask him things every day, whether it's to get Vidya online and get her up and running so she can do her job, and trying to connect with ADP. And I have no problem working on policy or having him work on policy, but I think it's going to take a while for us to work through that, especially with him being by himself down there.
I agree.
So I'm just, we expect a lot out of him, and I hold his feet to the fire, and he does a lot of good work, but he's only one person, so for 360-some employees, he's the only IT guy we got.
And he's stretched pretty thin.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, this is just the start, okay? We're just trying to get something rolling.
yeah, I understand. And like I said, I think that there's a place for this committee, but we trying to find that is going to be the challenge.
Yeah, we have to find out what works for Marion.
Yep. So I'll try to get through this a little bit more. Most of what I gave you kind of gives an idea of what goes on for the IT department, but some of the stuff just isn't on the IT department. Other departments, they have their policies that play a role in all of this as well, so.
Yeah, and that's why I was hoping you could go through and line out what doesn't apply to you and say, yes, this does.
Okay.
Then we have a place to start.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Anybody have any questions? Yes.
And it would be Craig 365 Silver Street. I sort of heard what the mayor was saying. When he starts sending you reports or having meetings with multiple council members, wouldn't that create some sunshine law and open meeting act violations? I mean, if he's sending you records, and now there's a public record that I can ask for. And even if it's redacted, what's the point of you having it if it's redacted? Like, what information does it provide to you? So now you're actually subjecting or allowing the public to look at this information that you don't want us to see. And when you start meeting with 3 and 4 and 5 council members, you're now having a de facto council meeting.
Right, well, I don't think we're talking about the entire committee meeting with Jacob at the same time.
More than
But-
2 of you is,
Or just one at a time. I met with him last week. That's not a violation.
have we asked Mr. Bolden if he has time to meet with 9
Yes.
separate council members? And
Well,
he
no,
does.
not with 9, but I'm sure that he has the option to say no anytime. When I called him, I said, whenever you have time.
I think you should consider the records factor, because I'm going to start asking for them, and I'll make sure they end up on Facebook if that's the game we want to play.
You can play the game. Anybody else have anything?
I would like that noted, that as I was walking away. That's not the rules of council, and if we're gonna play the rules of council, then you're not supposed to address me as I walk away. And I would ask for you to show me the same respect as I'm expected to show it here.
Anybody have any other comments or anything? If not, let's move on to matters not on the agenda. Anybody have any matters not on the agenda tonight?
Yeah, in terms of software, I know at one time there was discussion about potentially not paying maybe the annual dues for the New World software. We were potentially looking at new financial software. Can we get any type of update on that as of today?
Yeah, it's going to fall under another part of our conversation probably during finance, but to address that directly, we had met with another software company, and I think everything's still on the table as far as that goes. We have been meeting with New World Weekly on Mondays. Out of that actually came out of us having a meeting and talking about looking at other software. They got wind of that, and they have been very receptive lately. We have been meeting with them on a regular basis, trying to work through some of our New World issues. I also did an audit on our annual payment to them, which I think I told you guys is like $150,000, and there was 3 pages of modules. And out of that 3 pages, we probably used 5. So as we address a few other areas tonight, the money that we're going to save there will be better used somewhere else. But as far as New World and any kind of immediate change, I think that all of the changes we've gone through up to this point are probably let us get through that, and at some point in the future, not a long time from now, but we will readdress that again and give New World the opportunity to try to fix the issue that has been plaguing the city for at least 8 or 9 years with the issue between the reconciliations. So we're working on that. We do have, we were recommended by the county, the software system that they use, and they are no longer $1 million and some dollars to try to switch to a different financial software. So that's, I mean, if we end up deciding to do it, it will be doable. We'll just have to figure it out at that point. So that's kind of where we're at.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, we stand adjourned at 6:43.
You'll be back.
Need to be back. I haven't even been at this Ox Beans, have you?
It doesn't exist yet. There,
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure that it's a restaurant.
In 172 South Main, that's on the,
Peddler's Corner.
oh, okay.
It's right across from the music shop.
Yeah.
That's where it's called.
So, right next to someplace else.
.44 on February 2nd, 2026. All the Legislation, Codes, and Regulations Committee has had a meeting together.
Mr. R. Smith,
Yes,
Mr. Kreider,
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
we have a summary of proceedings from January 20th. Everybody had a chance to review it. Anybody have any comments, corrections?
Good. I'll move to approve.
Second?
Good.
Mr. R. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kreider.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
One item of new business is a new liquor permit request for Ox Beans LLC at 172 South Main Street. I believe that's where that Lydia project's going in?
Yes.
Around the corner? Yeah, okay. It's a request for a D5 liquor permit, which permits beer, wine, and on-premise spirits in sealed containers of the same to carry out from 5:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. Also has requirements for seating, restrooms, and entertainment. Mr. Fire Chief, would you have any objection to it?
No. I'm not aware of any issues.
Okay, so we have no objection from fire or police. Anybody on the committee have any comments?
No.
I don't.
Anybody from the audience have any comments? If not, I guess we just let this go, huh?
You have to vote to take no action.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to send on the council taking no action.
I'll second.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes,
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
that concludes new business. Any matters not on the agenda?
Yes, it was the other two liquor permits, the update on that, what, has anything transpired from that?
Yes, they were sent into the state and they misplaced them. And I sent them exactly what they got before with a, oh, okay, yeah, thank you.
Difficult.
And those have been dispensed of previously.
Yes,
So that.
they were previously taken care of. They sent us,
It's a clerical perhaps situation that.
Anybody else? Any other comments? If not, we're adjourned, 6:47. We got me down there. Yeah, like that.
swear to God, one of these days, I'm gonna measure these tables out and
I
paper
take
them
it
down.
all
and
home.
don't burn their work.
They're both at 6:45 apparently, so I guess we're the better 6:45.
That's my, yours was supposed to be 6:40, I apologize.
I mean, I think so. I'm impartial. Thanks, it's good to hear from you.
We'll call Finance Committee to order. Clerk, if you'll take the roll, please.
Ms. Lang?
Here.
Mr. Rollins?
Present?
Mr. R. Smith?
And the first thing on the agenda is proceedings. We have finance minutes from January 5th, 12th, and the 20th of this year. I have no questions. They've been revised, but no good to me.
Or do I? I'll make a motion, we accept.
Second?
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is, item number 1 is the audit. Mr. Watts, I'd ask you to do some checking for me to see if we could get some updated information.
Yes, I don't have an update on the audit yet, but Vidya has reached out to them, and they were going to come down and meet with us.
This week.
This week,
When,
mid this week, she
is it
said.
midweek?
And so we'll have a better explanation of where we stand and where we're going.
And will they give us an updated schedule? We think at that time?
Yeah, that's,
too?
we're going to ask for that.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? We'll move on to item number 2, penalties and appeals. Mr. Watts, I'd ask you if you could check on that and give us an update on that also.
Yes, I was in contact with Mr. Miller, Jeffrey Miller. He's from Voorhees Law Firm. They have no civil penalty matters that are pending for the city. He did prepare a audit response letter that was dated June 25th, or June 18th of 2025. I have not found that letter yet. I will dig it up. And in that letter, he sets forth all the penalty matters that the law firm addressed and the resolution for each instance. The letter also addresses other civil penalty matters that council had asked about, and that they did not address because the amounts were small enough that they didn't feel like they could do the job for us with what they charged to make it a benefit to the city.
Okay.
So we'll have to check on those to see where they are and outstanding. And then I guess the Miranda did provide a letter in December
Yes.
that said that there was an acceptance of a 35%, which would amount to a check of $21,000. And we have not received that yet, but it's the IRS, so I'm sure it's on its way sometime.
I appreciate you checking on that.
No problem.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, and I guess, did I read the email correctly that after that, there were no further penalties that were outstanding? Is that correct?
I don't believe there are, but I haven't found that letter for him to say what the...
I thought it was attached.
Not the letter that he sent June of 2025. What was attached was the letter that Miranda sent to council in December.
I think if he said if Martin could not find it, he would go back and try to resend that letter from June.
Okay.
That lists them all, if I understood it right.
Because my understanding, there were several penalties, but they were small amounts.
Correct.
And so I don't know if there was like 4 or 5 of them.
I'm not sure.
And so those just, I don't think they've been paid.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, my list was not.
Or abated or
Yeah.
appealed.
I don't know if they were appealed. And I'm sure they're not abated. So it'll be just an assessment of where we're at right now. But I don't believe the IRS would not let us go without paying anything.
I know I had asked for, I don't know if it was back in September, October, I had asked for her to get another transcript report from the date, which I think would have been September 24 through September 25, and I never received anything. So I don't know if she even requested that transcript or not, to see if we could match up some of the outstanding penalties where we're at with them. She may have it, and it may be in our office, I don't know.
We'll look for it.
Okay.
If not, we'll see if we can get a new one.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is there any other questions, concerns on that item? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item number 3, which is the 2026-01 budget. We're not going to have any discussion on that until we did the quarter budget for first quarter through the end of March, and we're waiting on the response back from this auditor of state. Once we get that, then we'll know where we're going. Moving on to item number 4, Finance 8, Tax Code, if you'll read, please.
Ordinance amending section 194.18A2 of the Income Tax Code as to the composition of the local board of tax review.
Okay, this is coming from, from Mr. Watson, the law director.
Yes, you go ahead. Mr. Watts, Deputy Auditor Watts had requested that the committee consider revising the existing Board of Tax Appeals. The Board of Tax Appeals has existed for decades, and it's made up by 3 members. 2 are appointed by council, 1 is appointed by the mayor. And you'll note in the proposed change, Mr. Watts' request was to allow 1 of the 3 members to not have to reside within the city. The purpose and intent of that change is to enable a long-serving member who just within the last month moved outside the city in Marion County, but outside the incorporated areas. And she has served on the Board of Tax Appeals for decades. And to keep her experience and knowledge as a part of the 3-member Board of Tax Appeals. So that's what's highlighted on the draft that's before you, and we're both available to answer any questions that you may have.
So right now, currently, those members have to live within the city, and
Yeah.
you're wanting to expand it outside.
Just one of the 3. So if this passes, council could appoint this person who has served for decades but moved outside the city. If you adopt this, you could reappoint her to continue to serve, and only 1 out of the 3 total members could at any one time reside outside the city. Obviously, 2 would have to reside within the city. As you point out, right now, they all must reside in the city.
Question. How much experience do the other 2 members on the board have?
So 1 other member has served for close to 20 years. Deb? And the other member has served for well over 20 years.
No, I think she's 6.
6 years?
Yes.
Oh, the 3rd member, I was wrong, not over 20 years, but approximately 6 years.
I have a question. The member that's served for over 20 years, the reason we're changing this is just so we can keep that member on the board?
Yes.
Or is this so that because we're having problems getting enough people to come in, have we tried to get another person to replace that person?
No. Normally, the auditor's office makes recommendations. One is appointed by the mayor. Has always been Kevin Hall. He'll need to be reappointed if he's willing to do it, and that's who the mayor wants. The other 2 members, we give recommendations, and she has served, and she ran a CPA firm, so we'd just like her to stay on, but we need to do 2 appointments, either her or 2 other people, which we'll present with recommendations on possible candidates. It's difficult. You want to get somebody that understands taxes,
So we have 3 positions, and basically right now, all 3 positions, Kevin's got to be
Yeah, they all need reappointed.
Okay.
And we'd like to, we're moving on it because tax season's coming out, and there could be a chance of appeals of that.
Just name and address, please.
Christian Messon, 211 East Fairgrounds. Wouldn't doing this open this scenario up for other committees? that you don't want that to be the case. Like Board of Zoning Appeals. You want them to live in the city, but we could find somebody super qualified who lives in Caledonia. And we could just say, well, they live right outside the city. So I've already done this over on the taxing appeals board, so we'll go ahead and do it here. And two, I'm not aware who this person is, but after a certain time, don't they have to leave? Like eventually, she would on her own step down. And
Those are all good questions.
I mean, but in the past when this has happened, by moving out of the city, you made your decision that you don't want to, that the board is not, it's important for you to do, but it's just not so important that you don't want to live in the city. So you've made your choice at that point, because we've made other people step down.
Correct.
So,
And that would be the benefit of a charter city,
yeah.
because then you could appoint people outside of the city. So,
Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. The charter city,
excuse me,
the charter city ship has sailed. The voters made their decision on that. So if we could stop going back to the charter city thing until it gets on the ballot again, that would be fantastic. You guys told us you would leave it alone, and that's what we were hearing, like every single meeting, charter city would be the solution to all of our problems. So please respect the will of the people. That said, who are we making this exception for? Who are we willing to change city ordinances for? Who's the person? Nobody knows? I mean, we keep saying she.
Trying to pull up the name.
Gene Obenauer.
Gene Obenauer.
Okay. I just don't understand why we're willing to make an exception for one single person when we haven't asked around to see if anyone else is willing to do this. As Mr. Dunstan said, we're going to start opening this up to everybody and their brother, because if somebody wants the job, all they're going to have to say is, well, you did it for Obenauer, why won't you do it for me? Lawsuit. So I don't know, like, I don't know about a lot of things, but I don't understand why we, and would Charter City really have the tax board? Wasn't it just about elected officials? But anyway, I don't understand why we are changing the rules for one person, as Mr. Dunstan said, decided to leave the city, and they knew when they were leaving the city that they were giving up all city-related positions. And we are starting a bad precedent by doing this.
Kimberly Mayer, 890 Gephardt Street. I agree with everything this gentleman just said and Naomi just said. We should not allow an exception when we haven't even looked anywhere else. It's just dumb. You allowing this exception just opens up an avenue everywhere else. This is a city council for the city, not for the county. They have their own auditor. They have their own stuff that they can't even do. Okay? My train of thought. I don't know much about this charter city thing, but I'm going to look into it if it has to do with that. Because if that's the only way, then that's the way we should look into possibilities. Other than that, there should be no making exceptions. This is for the city. If we're going to make exceptions, then we should do it the charter way, which we'll look into that. I don't even know nothing about it. But if we're not doing that, then we need to do it with the city. With that being said, I don't know who these people are in question, but if they had anything to do with our finances prior, they probably, opinion might not mean so much.
they don't have anything to do with
Okay,
that.
all right. See, I don't know these people, so. All right, but I really think you need to take into consideration what I and this gentleman and what she had just said.
Thank you.
This is city council. Thank you.
Any further,
Yeah, I just want to state that this was a decision that came from me. The council, the committee had nothing to do with it. We were just presenting it to them.
With that being said, back again, Kimberly, he is a temporary person. We should not allow a temporary person to make that kind of decision.
find the thought. Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. I spent a lot of time going through campaign financial records last fall, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Ms. Obenauer's name appeared more than once as campaign treasurer for quite a few people. So it would seem now this might be turning into another buddy job, since we're full on allowing a county resident to hold a city position. Is this a paid position?
No.
So we haven't even checked to see if we can get an in-city volunteer for it.
This just came to committee.
Okay, I'm just
Those are-
kind of
I've already
trying to
asked
come up
those
with-
questions for
okay.
them to come up with a list of names.
My concern is that this is gonna get sent on to council tonight with no recommendation, and then next week we're gonna hear yes, 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 maybe a no or two, but yes, 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 and it will pass.
Really, Mary, and then again, and I agree with what she just said. I don't think we should be doing a recommendation on.
Lonnie Daniels, 608 Taylor Street. If you decide to do this, then maybe you should just do it for all three. They're unpaid positions. I mean, you sound like a volunteer, so, I mean, but you should put a time limit on it maybe. Otherwise well, whatever. That's just one sensible.
As far as holding anything in committee, I don't believe anything should be held in committee.
No.
Us three do not make the decision for the whole city. That's what council is for. So with that being said, if there's no further discussion, I'm going to make a recommendation to send it on to council with no recommendation.
I'll second that.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Mr. R. Smith?
No.
Moving on to item number 5. Finance number 9. Clerk, if you'll read, please.
An ordinance to establish a Safe Routes to School SRTS grant through the State of Ohio's Department of Transportation, ODOT, and authorize the service director to apply and administer the grant and declaring an emergency.
This is coming from Ms. Brown.
This is the Safe Routes to School grant through ODOT. It's due March 6th. We can ask up to $1 million with no match. It's basically projects that enable children to walk or bike to school safely. It has to be within 2 miles of the school. Right now, we are going to apply for a walking path. It'll be on Brightwood, and then it goes to the Boulevard, and then it goes to Virginia into Delaware Avenue. And so it connects right to Benjamin Harrison, and then it stops about a half a mile from Grant. I have worked with both of these schools on this. They're very happy with this grant. They are writing recommendations for support.
Outstanding.
Great.
Just one other thing, it also follows the school's active transportation plan as being the highest priority area. So we are matching that, which will help us on our grant.
Yeah, it's absolutely needed over there. It's chaos.
You don't know, on the other side of Virginia, sidewalk starts, so that's kind of like the connection.
Yep.
Any further discussion or questions on this? Make a motion to send on to council with a recommendation to approve.
Second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 6. Finance number 10. Reconciliation contract. Clerk, if you read, please.
Ordinance authorizing the auditor or director of budget and management to enter into an agreement for the purchase of services to enable completion of mandated bank and book reconciliations and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this is coming from Mr. Russell.
I was surprised to see his name on there, but
Me
I was
too.
gonna let him run with it if he wanted
That's all your.
That's who sent it to me.
He did, because he provided the ordinance. So, what this ordinance is in reference to is shortly after we went into fiscal caution and were advised by the state that we had to come up with a recovery plan. And we started working on that recovery plan, which has since been an update on that. It had been submitted to the state. We have a meeting tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, hopefully, to hear what they think of our plan. That's what the meeting is about. She really didn't give me any indication that it's a terrible plan or it's a great plan, just that we want to meet on it and talk about it. They may have an approval with some changes. I don't know yet, but we'll find out tomorrow. But I can tell you that 3 of the 4 bullet points that were listed in our fiscal caution letter all revolved around reconciliations and our lack thereof. So what we were tasked with doing and what our remedy in our recovery plan is that we would hire an outside consultant by March 1st to begin the reconciliation process for 23, 24, 25, and now 20 through current of 26. We all remember going through this process before for 20 and 21 and how long that took to get that done. We expect this process to move along pretty quickly, months, not years for certain, and we would like to get the jump on doing that. And like I said, we have, in talking with New World recently and the meetings that we've had with them, they made the recommendation that we hire somebody that possibly has worked for New World in the past and is a certified public accountant. So they provided us a couple of names of subcontractors. We got a proposal from both. The one subcontractor that we would like to contract with is a gentleman by the name of Ron Vetter. He worked for New World for 20 plus years and is a certified public accountant. We've had meetings with him via Zoom and talked through our situation, and he has been given copies of what our fiscal caution letter was from the state and what our recovery plan states that we will do. So he knows all of the areas that are going to need to be worked on, and that we would like to get started on that or have the approval, so this comes out of committee and goes to council next week. So if the state says our plan's good to go, we're in a good position next Monday night or after next Monday night if it passes, to hire Mr. Vetter and get him started on our reconciliation process.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. 2 questions, actually. First, Mr. Mayor, is anyone in the administration that you're aware of ever had any dealings with Mr. Vetter? Has our administration ever had any dealings with him?
As far as our administration, I do not. Well, Mr. Russell he's been here a long time. He might have been around when Mr. Vetter worked. He worked on behalf of New World, I believe he said, in like
21?
Yeah. Something like that, to work on some issues that we had then.
But he's never been.
That's why we ended up choosing Mr. Vetter for one reason over the other gentleman that applied, because he's familiar with our situation, he's familiar with our system, he's familiar with issues that we've had with the reconciliation process. So we're hoping that gives him a leg up on being able to solve our issues.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to try to establish that there's no appearance of impropriety or anything like that.
Nobody that I know of back here had any idea who he was until he was recommended to us by New World.
And my second question, probably to the law director, is these expenses, and we have another one coming up here for $6,000. Would it be possible to recover these through against the bond for the auditor? These costs are as a direct result of...
So I would say they would probably be in a Group B. Group A is payments to the IRS that we haven't recovered.
Right.
Payments to the pension funds that we haven't recovered. Payments to deferred comp, I think, is the other one that we can't recover. Those are Group A. This possibly could be Group B. I can't make any assurance, but it'll be on the list. If we can show that the auditor responsible at the time for failing to complete the reconciliation was neglectful in his or her job duties, that's a possibility. But again, it's going to be the second group. We're going to prioritize the Group A.
But we will attempt to do that.
It'll be on the list of recoverable items. I'm not making any assurance it will be able to be recovered.
Right, it's not a decision we can make, right? Thank you.
And as I stated earlier, when Mr. Rollins asked, I would like to think that the money that we're going to save in our annual maintenance contract with New World will more than cover what we're asking for tonight, plus what we asked for a week ago for ADP.
What is that annual savings?
It's $150,000, and we're still working through the actual modules. I mean, I know that maybe we use 5, but we're trying to verify that with New World to make sure that there's not one that's being used somewhere that we're just not aware of. So before that bill ever gets paid, we'll make sure that every module that we're paying for, we are using here at the city to further our financials condition.
Do you have an idea of what the rough savings may be?
I would guess 50 plus thousand.
Okay.
Would be my guess, pretty easily.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. So I'm reading over the contract, and they're going to do 22, 23, 24, 25, which we need, and we said at the beginning of 26 to get us caught up. Okay, and they're going to do SOPs. We heard that from Veritas, right?
They did do SOPs.
They did do SOPs?
We had to have a treasurer willing to do it and an auditor willing to do it.
Okay, so we got our SOPs from them.
Correct.
But now, they ended up costing us about $275,000, didn't they?
They did.
Something along those lines. Well, I was looking here, and this CPA is only charging $125 an hour, which is pretty good for a CPA. And it's not to exceed $20,000, and that's based on 80 to 160 hours, which is 2 to 4 weeks. Do we really believe that this person can get 4 years worth of, 4 years worth of reconciliations done in 160 hours? Or are we kidding ourselves on that, and they're going to be coming back with their hand out for more money because this is more complicated than what we thought?
Well, I hope so, because it's a not to exceed based on the contract. So,
My understanding is that there's going to be some training involved in that, and it'll fall on the auditor and the treasurer's position to help in that. Am I correct, or?
Well, we don't have a treasurer, so it's not all on them.
I'm not sure I'm following what you're saying.
To Aaron's question, to Naomi's question, is that they're saying 4 to 6 weeks to have 4 years done. And I don't see the feasibility in that.
They're saying 80 to 160 hours, so that would put us at 2 to, I mean, I realize they're probably not going to sit down and work 40 hours straight on our reconciliations, but in the scheme of things, that's going to be 2 to 4 weeks of straight work to do 4 years worth of reconciliations.
So basically, the question is.
Does that seem realistic to you?
Right, the 20,000 doesn't.
And the SOPs in 80 to 160 hours. So I guess that would be my question. Or should we just expect more money to?
You know, honestly, this is a starting point.
I understood.
I mean, I have no idea. I can tell you that the other quote that we got was $200 an hour.
But this is a good rate for CPA.
And it was considerably more hours. Up to 570. I think they quoted up to 570 hours. So I guess my thought process is, even if he takes a little bit longer or more, I mean, I'm not saying that we won't come back and say, you know, he made it to 2024, and we have to keep going. But having said that, and knowing his ability and him having been here before, was why we chose him, plus the lower rate. And if we have to do more hours, inevitably it will cost us less money than it would if we went with the other vendor.
I think 570 seems excessive, but I think 120 seems low. I think somewhere in the middle is probably.
And that's why we all thought that was a starting point for us to see how this works. And again, because it's a contract person, it's not like having somebody you can't get rid of. If this guy, within a month or two, he's not really showing us that he's getting things done, and we're not going to pay him the whole $20,000 up front, obviously. We're going to pay him as he bills us for the hours that he billed. But hopefully, we'll see in him that he's able to perform the duties. It may take longer than what he initially estimated, but we can address that when it gets to that part. So, it's certainly not a guess. We put a lot of thought into this and tried to come up with the best solution. So it's a starting point.
Right, but I guess.
I have a question. I believe in the contract I saw somewhere there's milestones to be reported on.
Right.
So we'll know what his progress is as he goes along, like weekly or something like that. Okay.
So I guess my next question would be then on number 2, including but not limited to all accounts, funds or others for the years 22, 23, 24, 25. So let's say he gets to 23 and he's exceeded the 20,000. And I get these are all whatever, but now are we obligated to keep him because this contract says he's also going to be allowed to complete 24 and 25? Or are we allowed to say we're tapping out because we spent our
There's an
20,000?
escape clause.
Yeah, we can.
There's an escape clause in
There's,
this
okay,
contract.
I didn't
like
have time to read through all this. So
With
there is
written
a,
notice.
okay,
We're not happy with the service or whatever.
okay. I just didn't want to see this turn into
No,
a
absolutely,
Veritas.
sure. I get you. We've talked about that a lot, so I get you.
Awesome.
No, I'm good.
Marion, and get Park Street, that person that we're referencing, you say they worked here prior, or what was it? I didn't quite catch it.
The guy that we're talking about, Mr. Vedder used to work for New World, our software system that we use for our financial accounting here. So he used to actually work for that company, and then he retired and started a consulting.
But while he was with New World, he had done some work with the city on the software system. He's familiar with our system.
And what does New World entail exactly?
It's our accounting software. Basically, it's what runs purchase orders, audits, money in, money out.
So my question, thank you for clarification on that.
Yeah.
So my question comes to, should we really have anybody that's been affiliated with things already being reaffiliated with the investigations?
I'm sorry.
I don't
A
understand.
person that was already affiliated anywhere with know-how of any of Marion's accounting. We now employ them later. I'm
not following, I'm sorry.
We have Mr. Watts that's still in the auditor's office, that's been there for quite a while, plus a few employees that have been there since August.
Right, well, I'm not saying all that, I'm saying you're wanting to bring in someone brand new, as in a person on our payroll.
No,
No.
no.
Not on our payroll?
No. It's a contracted employee, so we contract with them to come in and do those reconciliations. And the reason we would pick him out of anybody else that is not familiar with New World, this guy already knows New World, he knows what the software does, so he can get in and run the reports a lot more efficiently than somebody that would have like just a normal CPA down the street that has no idea about New World.
And I like all that, I just don't like the fact that, I guess the part that I'm missing to fail to communicate is, he's been affiliated at some point with accounting system for Marion to begin with. Should we now allow that same person to be?
Well, he was an
investing
employee
in-
of New World, which is a big company.
Yeah, but you had said that they were affiliated with
Not with
Marion's.
Marion, no. They were not part of Marion's, they were not employed by Marion. They worked for New World. And they maybe tried to help Marion through, as a service order, try to help them through some of the issues they had back in 2021 or whatever it was, 19.
Because I'm like, I'm not sure, but.
So basically, I think I'm following what you're getting at.
Okay.
So basically, if an employee here in this building has a problem with the software, they have to call New World and do a service ticket. And then New World will call you back and walk you through your problem. So that's what he was employed with New World, but he may have gotten a phone call.
He may. That's where my concern comes in. This person possibly already has had their hands in. I don't think we should have anybody that's been already affiliated in new. Our money is contaminated enough. I don't think we should have anything else
Thank you.
going on.
Thank you.
Christian Nelson, 211 East Fairground. Mr. Mayor, would you say that the time that we're giving him is time to get an actual look at what's going on and then give us an estimate of what it's really going to take to get it done? Is that kind of what we're doing? Or are we saying with these hours that you're going to get up to 160, you're hitting the ground running, and we'll see you in 160 hours?
I don't think there's any remote possibility he's going to get done within that amount of hours. All of those reconciliations. I know how involved at least two of the accounts are. The general and the payroll account will take quite a bit of time. The other four accounts we have will take very little time because they don't have many transactions. But you're right, after a month, and we're halfway through, or a quarter of the way through, what he's billed us, he may say, look, this is going to take, but I would think the guy would know. I mean, he's worked for New World for 20-some years, he knows our system. I would think he would have a pretty good idea of how long it's going to take.
I mean, I would hope so. I would hope that he would be able to, at least because of the knowledge he has, he would be able to tell pretty quick what this is going to take. And then be able to tell you, I'm going to stick to the contract, but that ain't going to be enough time.
Unfortunately for us, the ability to do nothing is not a possibility. So we have to try to come up with the best plan, and we think collectively that this is the best plan to move us forward. And we'll see. We can't say it, everything's going to work 100% of the time. We'll see what happens. And if for some reason this guy don't work out at all, I'll have to come back here and say, look, this is what happened, or whatever. But if he does work out, great. At least we're further along than we were.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
You're more important than me.
No, please, go ahead.
Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. I just wanted to say in fairness that I was going through this thing, and it says that there's going to be an initial assessment, and then it says that he's going to work on monthly or batch-based reconciliations, and that there will be regular progress check-ins, that it looks like weekly, that they have a specific point of contact, and that there is an escalation process for unresolved discrepancies. So for the people that are listening, there is a good accountability procedure, it sounds like.
Just to expand on that a little bit. So this is one part of the whole moving system, right? So in addition to us hiring this subcontractor or this contract employee to do this, we also have training that was going to take place this week to train some people in the auditor's office and our new auditor about the reconciliation process from New World. But we found today that really our New World system needs a full in-depth analysis, and they have chosen to, the guy kept saying, yes, we will need to do that at some point. And today it was decided through our many conversations that we have almost every day, several a day, between us and the New World, that they think they need to do the completed assessment analysis before we start training people, then have to go back and train them a different way. So those are all things that are in the hopper and on the horizon, but we got to get this guy started on our reconciliation.
He's going to be billing monthly, and he's going to be telling us if there's things that are out of scope, and And based on $125, I think it's a good thing, and I think that should kind of put some of our minds at ease that it's not going to be a Veritas bill that rolls in for $35,000 that none of us were expecting. So, awesome.
I'll make a motion to send on to council with a recommendation to approve.
I'll second.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
And moving on to item number 7, Finance 11. Clerk, if you go ahead and read, please.
Ordinance to provide an additional appropriation as set forth herein necessary to provide for the completion of the project agreement authorized in Ordinance 2026-013 in order to comply with Ohio law.
That also says Mr. Russell, and I'll be glad to let him take that, but this is a follow-up to our ordinance that we did a week or so ago in regards to hiring a third-party contractor that was familiar with ADP. Again, kind of the same scenario. This guy had worked for ADP for a long time, Chad Resnick. I will tell you that we hit 2 main goals and focuses last week. One was to get payroll out, and it just so happened that last week's payroll was monthly, semi-monthly, and hourly, or bi-weekly, which doesn't happen very often that those all 3 hit in the same week. So upon you guys approving us to hire Mr. Dresnick, they showed up here bright and early Tuesday like they said they would. He had 2 people with him. They worked all day with our auditor's office and the payroll clerk. And by the end of the day, they knew very quickly that it was a much deeper problem than what they originally had anticipated when they would get here. But they also focused on the 2 main priorities, which was getting payroll done for all 3 of those and getting W-2s out. So both of those things got accomplished. Payrolls went out last week with a few problems, not many, but a few hiccups, not near like we had before. And we did notify all the employees and sent out to those people that don't work here anymore, maybe they left throughout the year, sent out W-2s. W-2s will have to be corrected. I think the healthcare portion of that had not been added in yet, and we did not have time to get that added in before they had to go out by the deadline. So all the employees got a little note with their W-2 that said, here's your W-2, but there's going to be a corrected one. We were assured by Mr. Dresnick that he hoped that the new ones would go out by the end of this week. So they're currently working on that. I think they've since got the healthcare stuff put in. But again, we are at the 40-hour benchmark of what we hired them to do. And we still have like 7 open issues that we have to address. We still have everybody's time off books and balances that need to be corrected and put into their banks. We have a couple of custom reports that the auditor's office still needs that talk to New World and ADP and vice versa. They're still working on shift differential for different departments. They get shift differential or longevity and figuring out how to add that in. General ledger output. These are all things that they're still working with Martin on, and soon to be our new auditor, Vidya Iyengar. They'll be working with her also. Today was her first 12 hours on the job. Welcome to your new job. But the reason, so in talking with Mr. Dresnick, and I will tell you that we spent hours on email, Zoom calls, back and forth with him, even on the weekend, where he would ask Chelsea that she has to find this, and she would find it, send it to him. So they were very receptive to our needs, and they continue to work on that. But tonight, I need to ask for like 30 additional hours. He don't think we may use all of those hours. But, you know, had they come into a situation where we had somebody that was well-versed on ADP and knew the system really well, might not have been an issue, but we didn't have that. So Jeff is trying to learn just as fast as they're teaching him, you know, about what has to be done, and some of these things we just have to work through. So I'm asking tonight, City Council for another $6,000, not to exceed that $6,000. We might not need it all, but to let us continue on this project to get ADP up and running. And talking with him at length for this past week, he feels that once we're up and ADP is working as it should, it'll take the payroll clerk about 4 hours to do each payroll. So whether it's bi-monthly, semi-monthly, or the bi-weekly, monthly, or semi-monthly, it's not going to take a lot of time for him to complete payroll when the system's up and running the way it should be. So I had sent you guys an email kind of explaining all of that last week, and I don't want to blame ADP because it's not their fault. It's because we didn't give them correct information, or we said something worked right when it didn't work right, and they went with it. So when it went live, it was doomed to fail from the beginning because it wasn't right. It wasn't put in right during implementation. So that's where we're at. I think if we get this within another week and a half or so, our hope is by next payroll that our payroll clerk will be able to do that payroll by himself with very little assistance from ADP and be very accurate. But a lot of things to fix between now and then, so we want to keep them on. Be glad to answer any questions.
I'll make a motion to send to council with a recommendation to approve.
Second.
Clerk, take roll, please.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Matters not on the agenda?
Please. Nope. Come on.
Sean Buck, First Ward City Council. Just for some clarification, go back to item 2, penalties and appeals. Mr. Watts, I remember that letter coming in from Boyer saying they would take on certain penalties to appeal those or request abatement, and the auditor's saying the city will file those other ones. Did you say that they were not filed, or you're unsure if they were filed?
I am unsure if they were filed.
Okay, and you'll be looking into that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chairman. This really has nothing absolutely to do with finance. I mean, it kind of does in a roundabout way, I guess, but I've received numerous calls, numerous emails about the situation with Aqua and the water and the issues that we have. Living in the city, I want good water too, and I reached out today to Aqua and asked for their contact person at the EPA. Scott Ballinger answered me very quickly, gave me the name of Michael Deal from the EPA. He does ground and drinking water out of Bowling Green, but we're in his area. I contacted him, had a very good conversation with him at length today, and received an email back from him, basically saying what a lot of people have probably already seen on Facebook or on social media, the response from Aqua, and I think there was an automated call that went out today, an email might have went out today to their customers, that this is like a rerun of December. So this is like the same situation, the same issue. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, the geosmin, the organic compound that is causing the issue is the same one that caused the issue back in December. They are treating it. I guess the EPA said if we can find any comfort at all, is that that particular type of organic compound isn't regulated where the federal EPA or the state EPA really intervenes in that. But they assured me that Aqua called them right away, told them we had the same issue going on again. Aqua began more frequent testing, daily or every other day testing, and their plan's going to be much like it was the last time, to treat it at the plant and to flush when possible, to try to get it out of the system. I know Scott Ballinger's hopes from Aqua is that within 2 to 3 days, they get everything flushed out again or get it out of the system to where it's not an issue. And it does seem, I don't know why it's sporadic, but it does seem sporadic. At my house, I really don't smell it right now. The first time I did a lot, but this time I don't really smell it. I'm probably like a lot of other Marion people. I've been drinking a lot of bottled water since that happened. Just because you don't want to, you want to drink something that tastes good, not something that doesn't taste good. And I think that I feel comfortable in the answers I got from the EPA and Aqua. I'm not a scientist, I can't say. I mean, they say it's safe. That they affirm that it is safe and there's nothing to worry about there. Yes, it doesn't look good or smell good, but it's not going to cause any health issues. But I would caution our constituents to do what they feel best at. If they feel best that they should drink bottled water, by all means, drink bottled water.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do they know what's causing it, where it's coming from, or is
Well,
it
that's
like
when
the
they start
lightning and-
talking scientific on me, Ralph, and talk about the river flip-flopping or churning.
Turning over.
Huh?
Turning over.
Turning over, that's the word they use, is that it turns over, and then they have some scientific name for it about why that does that. But I guess it's very common across the United States for other water providers to have that issue or that problem. But a lot of people ask, what's the mayor going to do? And the water system is not our system. And there was a lot of people here the other night for the rate hike meeting. And some people got confused that night because they talked about water and sewer. Sewer has nothing to do with the Marion, or us. So any raise that they do here, we're not going to be paying for somebody's sewer system in Franklin County or whatever. So I know the law director and I talked about that today and how that works, and we'll see what they, if they heard what our people said the other night at the meeting. It's not a really good time to ask for an increase in your bill when we've had those two issues back to back and very close together. So it's very fresh in everybody's mind that what had happened, and we all want quality water, and we're willing to pay for it, but probably not a good time for a rate hike. So that's that.
Scott Kreider, Council at Large. Since the mayor brought it up, just to comment, this started happening after our PUCO last Wednesday. I think Friday is when it started. I thought, uh-oh. And it wasn't quite noticeable at first, and then until you tasted it, and so forth. What was kind of alarming today, well, I called about 10:30 this morning, and when I called, I had contacted about a dozen people throughout the city, just sporadically, and they had varying degrees to affirm what you had said, Mr. Mayor, that some had more strong sensation, I guess. Some had extra filtration and so forth in their own home systems. But it was a fact that Aqua, the first time back in December, within 3 hours, I had a text and a phone call about the situation. Didn't have that this time. So that's why I called and I reached out and said, what is going on? And I contacted one of their council person as well and you as well. So I just want to let you know that the communication wasn't, I don't know, there was some sort of lapse. Then I got a call about 4:30 tonight, and that reiterates everything that's has been sent out publicly. But I think what it amounts to, we're really, people are not having the assurance and the confidence in product. And living where I've lived for over 30 years, and the only thing was that every time, like if there's a water main break, you know, you have to address all that. But this has been, these kind of issues has been just more recently, and it's whether they're getting, you know, our supply from the river versus the aquifer. I think that's probably, you know, what has really contributed to everything. So just a comment. All right?
Just further note for my constituents, for some context, I can't discharge water from the plant unless it is a 0.5% residual chlorine. That means that someone at the EPA considers chlorine levels in a public water stream dangerous to some type of life higher than 0.5%. The water being delivered to the tap at your home today is probably 4 or 5% residual chlorine. You can make the decision to drink that or not. I'll leave it at that.
Daniel, 608 Gator Street. After last Wednesday, I sat there and decided to sit there and pay a little bit more attention to Aqua, or at least to the present situation. And somebody did a test, which they shared with Facebook, and they said that at least at that point, our current water is like at what they call 687 parts per million. Water is supposed to be at safe levels if it's below 500 parts per million, the particulate and what's in it. 687 in the short term is safe enough to drink, but over the long term can cause things like kidney damage. I didn't much like to hear that. The other thing that got me was I don't drink the water necessarily. I sit there and use it for washing clothes and other stuff. But thing that bothered me so much is that the company itself seems to have gotten lazy, because when you read it, it's like they're supposed to pull it from the aquifers, because the city uses approximately 9 million gallons a day, and they're supposed to pull it from the aquifers. That's where they said that they got the majority of the water from. Well, then, from what I understand of it, it's like they're pulling the majority of their water from that dirty little Scioto River that runs beside their water treatment plant, the one that currently the Fed is doing a Superfund cleanup. And the other part is that I guess there was some lawsuit filed by the city of Columbus, and I don't know what it has to do so much with the city of Marion, because if I understand correctly, the Little Scioto River is supposed to be outside the city of Marion, which is in the county. But if it is inside the city for some reason, are we going to have to sit there and participate in its cleanup, which means we're going to have to sit there and use monies, I guess, to sit there and help with the cleanup, or is that going to fall on the county too? I mean,
I don't know if you're talking about the leachate issue, but we actually passed at council some funding to take care of leachate treatment. That's the concern out of Columbus, right, or anyone downstream from here, is if we're treating leachate, that residual goes into the stream, and then if communities downstream are using that water for public consumption, that leachate discharge is in that water stream.
I don't understand why the city of Columbus is sitting there putting it squarely on us, though, because I mean, they get their water from a variety of sources, like the old Intangi, for example.
I don't think they're putting it on us, but they're offering, and am I to understand they're offering some funds to put in the leachate treatment to help with the issue? So I don't know that they're blaming us, but at least they're putting some skin in the game to try to solve the issue. It's also, go ahead.
It was my understanding that they did some testing upstream from Marion and downstream from Marion, and it was worse downstream than
Correct.
it was upstream. And that's why they're offering to help us.
Because one of the only places that accepts leachate for any type of discharges is in Marion.
Okay. On a side note, has anybody heard about any offers that that Ohio Health is trying to make for the hospital they want to buy? I heard that on from the Marion Star, and heard that at 10 TV News. And I don't know, that's probably pretty early to say, but
That's exactly right. There is an agreement between us, the county, and Ohio Health to have conversations about that, but we've gotten nowhere near talking about dollars and cents and what that might be yet.
I just know that they have a desire for that, because right now they're paying about $600,000 a year in rent, which of course your predecessor was willing to give the hospital away for $1 a year, but he was stopped from doing that. So at least you're getting that money, but I thought it was highly interesting that they're making an offer now that they've heard that, oh, the city's in financial trouble. Why don't we sit there and make them a deal?
Golden egg?
Huh?
The golden egg?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I know that seems like that might have something to do with it, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see. We'll start having our meetings and keep the public informed and see what kind of offer they end up making. We'll see where we go.
You still give it to them for $1 a year?
No, it won't be $1.
We're talking.
Name Craig 365 Silver Street. Just back to the water briefly, because I know it's just finance. My concern is, my son and I just did a report on Flint, Michigan, so the whole water thing. You said 3 to 5% or 45% basically acidity from, I guess.
Residual chlorine.
Bleach is a base.
Yep.
We have a bunch of lead lines, lead water lines in this town, and I can't imagine that would be a good thing. And I guess it would be, Mr. Russell, is there a point that we can, I know this has only happened twice, but is there a point where we can say, I know this is a natural occurrence, but we can say, hey, the quality of water in Marion is, and I know they're probably gonna want their 21% to do it, but can we say, as a community, the water is not acceptable and do anything about it? Or, I know it's only happened twice, but if it keeps repeating, is there something, as a community, we can take a step to say, hey, Aqua, you need to do better and not charge us 21% extra.
I think there's always an ability to make our displeasure known. So my answer would be yes, there's always some venue we can take our complaints to. And I think just the discussion this evening from Mr. Rollins and Mayor Collins in regards to the actual water content, that's helpful when we learn things about, it shouldn't be above 0.05%,
Right.
and indications are it's 4 times that or more. So, it's collecting that data gives us the materials that we can make a difference later.
Yeah, my son smelled like a swimming pool the
Yeah.
other day when he got out of the shower. And then I have actual slime in my humidifiers that I clean out every few days. So using the tap water is creating a calcium slime nasty thing in the humidifiers. So, and that's been going on for weeks, even after they told us the water was clean and safe. So.
For the mayor of 90 Airport Street. This kind of has something to do with finance, but kind of doesn't. As in, it would if it gets there. Right now, this is funded already, but it won't be funded soon. So, I wanted to just bring it to the attention of the council and anyone else. We, the residents of Marion, were not properly informed about the flock safety cameras. The installation. The grant funding is due to expire on that soon and was used to implement 34 camera units that the Marion Police Department have placed or had someone placed throughout the county, making us one of 3,000 plus, approaching nearly 4,000 law enforcement agencies across the country currently using them, making Flock system a centralized database. All the while, they are currently sharing real-time location on everybody that drives by. Oh yeah. And if you didn't really consider this part, none of those offices need a warrant to access those cameras. Flock Safety no longer contracts or anything to do with Homeland Security. I encourage the community and all of the city council members, as they are voted on to office by the people, to look into these videos that I'm going to tell you about in a moment, as this seems to be concerning. Things that can go along with the good that the cameras that are capable of doing. I know Marion Police Department has some statistics that can reference how good they are. You know, we have a local boy that was found in an adjacent state. I get that. But I have a few copies that I made for people. But I want to reference, I'm going to bring your attention to a few videos, and I'm referencing clips of this videos right now. That way people have a tidbit to go look into this information. These cameras are designed to detect and track people, as well as not just cars and plates. As you will be able to see in the video with the PTZ cameras, pan, tilt, zoom. And they literally use AI to follow you around, whether you are a person of interest or not. In these videos, you will see that there is a family that exposes a family loading things into a vehicle in the Lowe's parking lot. They have a baby, and they're, you know, the person trying to do harm, if a person was to do harm, they could use the license plate number and cross-reference the data with the data breaches that go along in businesses, and get the address of that very garage that that vehicle is going to be stored at, and the items that you just bought, no longer the child that you see carried in. You see, compromised data could be various sorts. Examples are license plate numbers, email addresses, phone numbers, hashed passwords, and in some cases, your actual home address. Some breaches are attributed to third-party software. Another example, this is a second example, I have two. A couple is arguing on a street in Atlanta in a market. You think it's no big deal. It's anonymous that this camera's picking up this information. Wrong. Because within 2 minutes of OpenAI source intelligence using a commercial facial recognition engine, you can find out that one of those people in the video just finished medical school, and the other is dealing with chronic IBS. And the couple also just had a baby last year, and pretty concerning debt-income ratio. It also shows they drove 45 minutes away from home to attend church. You think this is scary? The guy on the video says, yeah, it's creepy, but he's trying to show just a fraction of the information that anyone in the world with access to a commercial search engine has had regarding anyone attending that said market in that example. AI is always listening, and with this information, they can have these drones and zoom in with loud noises. You know, a baby crying, kids screaming. birthday parties, balloons busting. Next thing you know, you got a camera. It could happen, yes. We are not the only ones, or I say we, I guess, there is others, but I'm the one here right now, are not the only ones bringing this attention to the matter. Other communities are as well. As in the United States, senators and representatives, they have drafted an official letter to open an investigation that highlights the national security risks associated with its findings. I encourage you to look up these videos. Some are a tad lengthy, one was 40 so minutes, but they're worth the watch. Verify for yourself, and let's get these cameras taken down. If they are gathering the data, there isn't anything protecting that data from anybody else who wants it and wants it bad enough. That being an example, the videos, that guy goes in there and does all this, right? Example, he is on YouTube video, his name is Ben Jordan, BENNJORDAN. Video clip A references, these are the words, it says, "This flock camera leak is like Netflix for stalkers." 12/22/25. Video clip 2. "We hacked flock safety cameras in under 30 seconds." November 16th, 2025. There's another one from ABC 7 News out of the Bay Area, February 1st of 2026. This video clip name references Mountain View officials allege federal state agencies accessed flock safety camera data without consent.
Point of order.
And one more, and then I'll be done, because this is important. This information's already out there. I get it. I'm putting this out there so it can go to the council. That's why I'm doing it at a committee. The last one was the video from the NBC News, November 1st, 2025. Video clip D references police camera system tracking billions of license plates caused some pushback. So please, please, please watch these videos. I stated at the beginning the funding is running out soon, but Police Chief J. McDonald seemed determined on a prior council meeting in November that they will find funding to keep this at all costs. And I did this at this meeting so it can be brought to council. I'm not sure what council it has to go to or what committee. I'll have copies for all of you. All of you. Because I want all of you to look into it. I didn't change the staple of them, but I want everybody to be able to look at it. I only have 25 copies, so I'll just lay a few up here, and you guys can take them and make copies.
There's no other matters on the agenda. Finance is adjourned 8:03. Thanks.
Get out of here.
Yep.
8:04, call to order the Streets and Sewers Committee. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Present.
Mr. Prater? Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Got a summary of proceedings, had an opportunity to review Ms. Larkin.
Yes.
Any recommendations?
No, I'm glad to see that they're doing more cities, or more streets in the city than what they used to do.
This is for the minutes.
Oh, okay.
Have you had a
No,
chance
but
to
yeah,
review?
they're good.
I'll make a motion to approve. Would you like to second that, Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
You'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Okay, new business. Item 1, here you go, Mr. The auto tax resolution, if you'll read.
Resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to apply to the Marion County Commissioners for monies delivered from the automobile license tax and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this is an annual routine piece of legislation where we get our $5 from every transaction over at BMV. Goes to the county commissioners, we put in to receive it. And we always have to provide a list of resurfacing projects. That doesn't mean everyone on this list will be resurfaced, but it means that it has to come from this list. Any questions? Anything from the administration? Anything from the audience? Wishes of the committee? I'll make a motion to send on to council with a recommendation to approve.
I second.
If you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Matters not on the agenda that are related to streets and sewers.
And Trade 365 Silver Street.
Yes, ma'am.
I know the weather is horrible, and I don't expect you to put speed bumps on my street right now. I'm just hoping you haven't forgotten about Silver Street,
Right.
that's all.
We could put snow bumps there though.
I just want to say, also the city street guys have done a great job because we are street parkers. We're the unfortunate souls that don't have a driveway. So I swear every time we leave that they are plowing a spot and getting it, because it's melting and freezing and melting and freezing, and they're cleaning out spots for us, I swear, every day. So thanks guys and gals that are working on that work.
Anyone else?
I'm wondering, have the potholes been filled in?
With snow. With snow. That we're adjourned 8:06.